Hello everyone, how are you? So today agenda point is what is typecasting? Although we have learned how to typecast a string into an integer, and today we are going to see in detail how this can be achieved with other data type. And we have also learned that Python internally changes the data type of some operands so that all operands have same data type. This type of conversion is automatic, that is called implicit, and hence known as implicit type conversion. Though Python also supports explicit type conversion. Let us have an example where the type is converted. For example, if I write a is equals to 4 plus 6.9. Okay, so here you can see I have a 4 and 6.9 is a float value. Let us print the value of a and then print the type of a. Okay, let's print the type of a. Now let us execute this piece of a code and see what is the output. So here we can see 10.9 is the value and float is the output. So now this 4 is converted into a float value, and hence it is a implicit type conversion. Okay, now let us talk about another type conversion we have already learned, that is a is equals to, let's say we are going to have an input. This time let's say enter any value. Okay, and let's print this value in its type first, and then I'm going to try and let's say c is equals to a divided by 5, and let's try to print this c, and let us see and execute this program. And here you will find that enter the value. Okay, fine, I'm going to enter the value, that is 10. So I am expecting that I should be getting how much? 2. Okay, because the value of a was 10 and it should be divided by 5 and it should return me a 2. Okay, but I'm not getting it. Why? Let us learn the reason. Type error, unsupported operand type for slash str and integer. Okay, so here I'm having a string and here I'm having a integer. So what I need to do, I need to first convert this string, whatever input I'm taking is in a form of string, and it must be converted into a integer. So either I have to write like this, okay, and this will make my program run successfully. I hope so. And let's write 10, and this time voila, you can see my program is successful now because I have typecasted, or this type of conversion is called explicit type conversion. Explicit type conversion. Or what I can do, if I do not use this here, I can typecast it here also. Okay, so first of all, a is taken as an input. Let's take a is equals to input, this time value, and we have a string value here, and then we are converting integer here. But remember, you cannot further use a as an integer, because the value of a, if you say type of a print type a is string here. Okay, let's run this program, let's have a value. Okay, so you can see I'm having a string here. Take care about this in this type of conversion. But if I comment it out like this and write a program like this, and now I should remove this one also and run execute. Now this time I'm having what? Okay, invalid indentation. Let's correct the indentation and execute this program again, and we have a 10 here, and now you can see 10, okay, integer 2.0 and this. So here you can see my a is converted into a integer permanently. I can have any other numeric calculation if I do like this. Okay, so this is the best practice you can do. Otherwise you have to typecast every time whenever you are going to use a for a numeric calculation. Okay, now in this example, integer is the function which is responsible for type conversion. Okay, we can say int. This is the function which converts a string into an integer. Right, now let us try this int function for a float value. Let's say we have some value and I'm going to use another variable called b. Let's get rid of all these. Okay, and try to print this b and its data type now, and print type b. Okay, let's run this program and see. So here I have a 67 and 9.0 is truncated or removed. Okay, right, it doesn't round, it simply clips the decimal part. Now let us try this for a boolean value that is true and execute this piece of our code. Now you can see it is translated into 1. Or we can have a complex number, let's say 6 plus 0 1 j, and let's run this program and see my complex number cannot be converted into a integer, right? Now similarly, as we have int function to convert any data value to a integer type, we have a float function which converts any data type to a floating point number. Okay, and if I scroll it down, you can see the examples. We have a s, which is a string that is 10010, and that is converted into a floating point number. Okay, so string is converted into a floating point number, and then we have printed this string. Okay, so after converting the float value, you can see print e gives you 0.0 as well, so appended to a string. Okay, that means it converts our string into a float. Right, now let us see other functions. ord gives you ordinal value of the character. I have shown you in previous videos also. Let us get back to our PyCharm and see how this function actually works. Okay, so let's print this ord, and I'm going to print a string. Let's say it is a capital A, and if I try to execute this, you can get a 65 here. So the ordinal value of a capital A is 65. If you have multiple values, let's say app, and if you try to execute, I will get an error because it accepts only one character value. Okay, so you have to specify only one character. If I specify small a in a string, you can get a 97. Okay, and similarly if you specify 0, you will get a 48. Right, so these are also called the ASCII values of the characters. Right, so let us understand one more time. We have a, that is 65. If I try to print the value, ordinal value of a b, let's print this b and run this, it is 66. So in a sequence for a C, you can expect the value, ASCII value, that is 67, and so on, right, up to Z. And so if I say like Z, let's execute this program and see what is the output. So shift F10. Now you can see 90 is the output. Right, similarly if I specify A and B, 97 and 98 will be printed, and if I specify Z, so maximum value will be 122. Now let us have a program which takes a character and checks whether it is uppercase or lowercase. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a variable. Let's take a input and say enter one char. Okay, then if I specify like this, print, let's say ord of a first, and then check it out. See how I'm making a program. I'm not making a complete program in one go. I have taken an input and I'm just printing the ordinal value of it. So what I want to do is I'm going to print a capital B or small b, whatever, and just enter. So I'm getting 97. So if I say this ordinal value is less than equals to 90, okay, that means it is a uppercase letter, uppercase. Let's try, this is a very basic example, so I'm not writing a full complete fledged example. just in simple example. So B, now you can see uppercase, it's true. Now you can say that if I specify a 0, then also it will give a uppercase letter. Okay, so what you can do, you can specify ORD of A is greater than equals to 65 and ordinal value of A is less than equals to 90. Okay, now let us execute this piece of a code and see. We have a capital G here, so uppercase. If I execute it again, and this time I must specify let's say 7 here, and see, uppercase letter false. And one more time, this time it's capital, or let's specify a small a and try to enter. You can see uppercase false, right? So this ordinal value, your ORD function, gives you a ordinal value or ASCII code of a character, right? So let's jump to our browser and see what is next. So here you can see hexadecimal value. This is a function which converts your number into a hexadecimal value. Now, and this is for octal number. Let's go ahead and see. We have a 65. Its hexadecimal value will be printed by printing C, right? So you can see the hexadecimal value is 0 x 2 32. Let's try this in our PyCharm, and let's have a print statement which prints hexadecimal value of 255, and I will get a FF, right? So let's have this, and you can see 0xFF, right? So maximum value of a color, you know it from the very beginning in HTML, so that is 255, and we have learned how to calculate this hexadecimal using calculator, or by simply dividing it by 16 and tracing the remainder, right? Let's back to our browser and see what next. Now these are the different functions which converts our sequence into a tuple or a list. We will discuss when we will be learning tuples or list. Okay, so these are for future lessons. Let's not talk about this. And one more thing is really very important. This is called the str function. Suppose you want to convert any integer or any integer into a string, then we can use a string function or str function. You can try it. You can see here we have a C that is converted into a string, and you can see A is a where is A? A is a number. It is converted into a string. Okay, and another one of our here is a complex number. For example, we have a real value and an image value, then we can convert it into a integer. It should be, we should pass two numbers to use this function. Okay, and last is a char function, which we are going to discuss here. So it is a reverse of ORD function, and if you specify 676, so it will give you a L, or if you specify a 66, it will give you a capital B. Let's try in PyCharm. Let's get rid of all this, and let's have a print, let's say char of 65. Okay, I'm expecting capital A. If you try execute, see, and if you specify 97, now small a, and if you specify a 0 here, or sorry 48 here, it should give you a 0. Okay, now a simple thing, I'm going to use a for loop for I in range, let's say up to 100 or 122, let's say plus 1, or simply write 123, and I'm going to print the number as well as its char value. Okay, so I'm going to specify a here. Don't worry if you do not remember the, do not understand the example, just for fun, right? So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute the loop, or I have written a loop which executes from 0 to 123. So I will get a first time is equals to 0, and you will get a 0 as well as its equivalent character, then 1 2 3 4 and so on, right? So let's go ahead and execute this program and see. Now you can see from the beginning, you can see 0 to 33, there is no character assigned, or it character assigned but it is not printed. But after 33 you can see, so ASCII value of explanation is 33. Similarly 34, 35 and so on, right? You can see here. So in this way you can get the values, so up to 122, that is up to Z. Okay, fine. So in this way you can get a character code of values. So let us conclude this chapter here only, and this is the end of the chapter 4, that is data handling, and we will do some practice. So goodbye and have a nice day. Bye bye.